Hey everyone, Alchemist Lion here, and today we're going to cover damage, and I'm going to try to do this quick. Damage builds and missions don't have to look this way. It may get the job done, and I mean this is set up pretty nicely if it was an actual objective. Terrain probably wouldn't be this nice to you, but you don't have to do this, and even if you did this, chances are you're going to have somebody in your game who's just going to start blocking stuff off because they have no clue yet that keeping them an open path is the way to do it. I had one yesterday where the guy just started throwing up random walls like this. And then they'll do something fun like throwing on broadsides, shooting into the vast nothingness of nowhere. But yeah, your damage doesn't have to be that, and that's what I'm trying to get here is kind of a public service announcement saying, you know, you can get away with a whole lot less, just like I do in Endurance. Damaging missions is no different. I recently saw this posted, and to anybody who's watched some of my older videos, which most of those ones are the ones that get watched, this is my first universal amp design, basically, in a very condensed 1-1-1 type configuration. But they're using this to do missions, which, you know, I think it's cool that either directly or indirectly, people are learning. And this is an awesome strategy, especially in doing endurance. But in a regular mission, this is just costly. You can get away with a lot less than this kind of 360 build using this setup. But this is even better than, what I had up there. It's still costly though. It's still expensive, and builds like this are kind of why people gear towards jails. Like, how can you compete with this when it comes to doing, spam damages like this? And this is why jails are so appealing, is because you have one trap and little builds, and then you throw your base on top, and you can go mess around and do something else and achieve the mission. But the problem is that is great in private, not a great strategy in a public setting where people aren't all at the same page. And some people like to go in, especially now where you're getting extra rewards and bonuses for getting badges. People want to do damage. So these builds shouldn't be in public. And the reason why we got crowd control, at least Epic is throwing y'all under the bus for it, is that everybody was trying to force people into this. There was aggression on people who would not conform to the one trap jail type thing where you basically just pop it down and then sit there and do nothing. And that isn't fun. And I know most people who go this route kind of get burned out and drained because this is all they're doing. They're throwing this up and then they're kind of going off, and there's no real enjoyment. They're not actually playing the game. It's great if you can do it in private and you have this ability as an option to get your survivor superchargers, to grind out ventures and things like that. But in a community game where it's all about community involvement, this isn't very community driven. But how can we get the appeal of this into a damage build that's effective like that? And that's what I want to show you today. So with the jail build, we start with the foundation of this sound wall, and the whole thing is the reload will kick in after they stop dancing so that you're not missing a beat. You can get away with doing this with the gray reload as well as the blue reload. I just find that the green reload gives me the best sort of return results wise, and that's the one I kind of go to the most. And it doesn't all have to be legendary perked. The main thing is you just have that green reload speed. And when you're doing in a damage mission, you're not looking for the longevity of endurance, so having all durability isn't as vital. You can get away with a lot less just fighting a normal mission. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take the foundation that this has kind of given us, and I'm going to make a few changes here. What we're going to do is we're going to put a freeze trap. Oop. Edit these down into lower walls. Add bigger walls kind of to the sides there. You have a floor freeze trap, and it's the reload speed that's the main thing here. The double legendary reload speed gives you a turnaround time of 6.5 seconds. So if they're not dancing, you want them to be freezing. And we're throwing both at them to get the best return, honestly. Floor traps, it's all about snaring them, freezing them, or keeping them at bay. And the freeze trap is honestly the best one. If it wasn't for crowd control, it would be the only one I'd probably use. And that's why it's in here. We're also utilizing the dynamo, and we're mainly throwing this in because of the doubling up factor on the damage that you can get away with, because you can put these on the low wall and the darts will shoot over that low wall. So you can kind of get that dart dynamo deadly combo that we all kind of know and love. And the double reload speed is the main vital piece on this. You want it to have the quickest turnaround possible, and that 6.5 seconds, again, kind of like the freeze drop, is exactly what we're going for. Everything else, especially when you're just doing some damage, it's flexible. And in this damage death trap, we also are using the zapper. In my opinion, the second best trap in the game. It's the highest damage output, but it only does it to a single target. That being said, it targets the bad things first. So there's a high efficiency to this. I've made a video on it. I can't stress it enough. This is probably the most overlooked trap. I've been guilty of it. If you haven't played with this yet, do it now, because it's worth it. Double reload, that's vital. You want that both legendary. The rest, again, you can play with and you can build up to, but your first focus should always be on reload. And no build of mine would be complete without the darts. It is, I can't say it enough. I made a video on it. I don't even know if it did it justice on just how great these things are. I've done an entire canny endurance with just darts. The reason why they're great is that area of effect. And the damage might not be as high as a zapper, but they are highest in the area of effect category, and you can stack it. You can have 3 darts shooting 1 square and getting a huge impact damage that is comparable to a zapper, but on a whole spread of the entire tile for any husks that's standing there. And that is why they're great. Add to that, they have a quick turnaround time, the highest durability possible, and look at the double reload. You can get 3.3 seconds. And I said it, just like abilities, the more you can do, the better in this game. And that is why I focus on the reload at this stage. The other ones you can build up to. You can perk them as you progress, but if you need to start with a dart and you want to get the best bang for your buck, setting that reload early will help you. And this is what we're using for this, super condensed damage build. And then lastly, we have the anti-airs, and we're using that for 2 reasons. One is the projectiles being thrown at the objective by the lobbers and flingers, as well as on the ground for some propane if they become an issue. And I like the double range, that's kind of the standard, and then I alternate from the reload. I like damage. I find if you have enough of them, you don't need the reload perk, and by saying enough of them, you don't need to spam them. I use 3 around the objective, and then 1 or 2 on the ground to try to help with propanes. And that is basically it. So with these few added traps, what we've done is we basically just converted this from jail build to a very publicly playable damage build that is very effective, even in the higher realms, given if you are fighting. If you're in public, I am going to say this, you should be fighting. If you want to jail, you want to go AFK, that is a private thing. It's not something to go and flex on. Anybody can do it. It's one trap. It's not a brag. But when you're in public, people want that community gameplay. They do not just want to sit still. And there should be public service announcements. They should have wallpapers just like the V-Bucks scams. Kind of like this. Even something as silly as only you can prevent jailing in public lobbies. You can even do it more of the positive route. Joining a public lobby? Come ready to fight. Simple as that. Don't jail in public lobbies. Yes, you can get things with a little less effort, but at the same time, not everybody's on page with that. Not everybody is familiar with these strategies and techniques, and it's not fair to start yelling at somebody because they're not following along. But you don't have to spend or break the bank, because I'm thrifty. I like doing the least amount of effort. That's my whole point on endurance. My whole point in even showing these things is that we can do things cheaper. And regular missions is no different. Your damage builds don't have to be these crazy concoctions, even though this is basically my idea. It doesn't have to be that way. This was an endurance build. This is not meant for a regular mission. You can get away and get the same results as that with just this. And I've improved. This is like a year and a half ago almost that I came up with this. I've improved since then. I found out some new things. You can get away with this. So, don't do this. Definitely don't do this up here. As cool as this is not how you trap out a regular mission. This would cost you way more than you can collect. You know? It doesn't have to be that way. But, you know, this is all fine and dandy when I'm just kind of doing a tutorial like this. I have clips. I'm just going to show you the past like week or so. I have canny endurance. I have just a few random missions. Some lower levels, some 140s. All just using these techniques. And say you're in the 140s and you know this isn't going to stop everything. Wherever they're pathing, just throw up random darts. Make sure that wherever they're pathing, you're hitting them with a couple darts along the way. Darts are pretty cheap. And they do a lot. You don't need to spam really anything else. You don't even need to spam darts. So say they're walking this one little corridor. You can put a dart here. You know, you can put a dart here. And you can put a dart back here. They'll walk around them. And they'll get hit with 3 darts in this spot. And it will clear out so much. You don't have to do a lot. And remember, you're supposed to be fighting. And you're going to be clearing out most of the things. Having this set up, you can keep your focus on what's important. Clearing out the smashers, getting rid of the propane. If you're finding that you're on a higher level with more propane, add more anti-airs, especially on the ground. Especially if you're fighting around, you know, 1 or 2. You don't have to litter 100 of them. I like to have 3 anti-airs around the objective. So here, because there's like cliff sides over here, I probably wouldn't put it there, but I would do this and this. And I would just put 2 more anti-airs, and that will basically stop any flinger issues that you have. But at the same time, because this build will kind of hold everything at bay, this freeze trap jail, because remember, the sound wall alone will jail them. Because you're adding this damage here, you're going to start clearing things out. It gives you some flexibility time. I'm not sweating my butt off when I'm doing damage. I just want to have a good chill time. That's my whole MO in this, is I just want to have a chill time. I'm not no BR sweat trying to like prove that I have something to prove. I just want to have a good time. And you can go, you hear a flinger, you go chase it down, shoot it, and everything else is going to be cool. This will hold most of the smaller things at bay, and the mist monsters don't appear 10 at a time. You can get a smasher, you kill it, and then another smasher kind of appears. Sometimes you might get 2 or 3. But if you're in a group, it doesn't really matter. You can all get your focus on and get it done. If something breaks, you didn't invest a lot. You can replace it. So say a smasher comes and rams here and breaks this, and even breaks the dart. Throw up another dart. Is it really that hard? No. And again, it's costless. There's not a lot of cost involved. We're not adding much more to the sound wall. It doesn't have to be objective based either, where you're covering the objective with this. Say it's terrain, like your terrain is really nice, and there's a singular path that they come up a ramp. At the bottom of the ramp, you can do this and get the same sort of thing. You know, objective free and clear, and all you do is you have this little setup down here, and they aren't going to get through this. You know, you're going down here and clearing out all the big stuff or any issues that might come up. Again, if a smasher runs and hits this, there's still the darts here to hold up while you know, put it up. But at the same time, if you're getting things set up right, smasher won't get that far. At the same time, you can expand it a little bit, and you can put another zapper, you know, right at the entranceway. Give yourself a double hit. And say you're really still uncertain or you're still having issues, you can just find these spots where the husks are walking and where they're pathing, that you can get them hit with 3 darts. Add some of these in. That's really all you'll need to give yourself a humongous reprieve. And you throw darts there, and it just, again, helps it out. And we're not spamming traps. These are all pretty cost-effective ways of getting the job done. Let's see how they fare. I gotta get out of here, Bubby. Every time they hit me, I... Uh-oh. Yeah, we don't have enough anti-airs. I don't have any anti-airs up here, bub. There we go. That wasn't good.
Run, 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 run.
Oh, I think this one was used once. Yeah, twice. That's funny. Some of them did try to walk around.
Oh yeah?
It didn't work out very well for them, but...
Ow.
Yeah, man, the basic Jill with like a few zappers, a few darts, and then it's a full-on damage build.
Yep. Works good too.
Oh, it works stupid good.
I think Retrieve the Data is one of the easiest damage builds. Easier than an Atlas anyway.
Oh, they're all kind of the same though, like we didn't even use that much last time.
Nope.
Like it doesn't take much.
Data's looking good.
And so once you get a hold of these concepts that I'm going to show in this video, you can take this application of just trapping in regular missions and even apply it to things like endurance. And for example, using that free soundwall combo, I'm even able to hold these husks at bay. And they don't get past here once they have to go through a few of these zappers. Again, not spamming it. There's nothing over spawn. I am just concentrating the damage. I'm putting the effort in, and then I'm blocking their path with the sound wall to really make sure they don't get through. And that's it for my video today. With this Battle Pass accolades reward system coming in to save the world, some of these missions are becoming very viable to look at. And I am thrifty. I hate spending my mats, so I'm going to try to look at doing them the most effective way possible, and that's the information I wanted to share today. So I hope this information's helpful. I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the game. Have yourself a great day. I'll catch you around.